You know how people usually said they have taken millions of pictures with their phone? I literally took million pictures with my phone. Hello everyone who already knows me from my Instagram probably. I'm a content creator from London. Not only I've been doing this for myself for 6 years now, I've also helped many personal brands, physical businesses and online businesses, content creators and influencers to create content and look their best on pictures. I'm making this video first of all to give out the link every time people ask me. I do get asked about my camera settings, more actually, oh, how you did that photo. It's the settings, it's the skills, it's your experience. So it's a combination of all those. And it's better to have each one of them, because usually people argue, you know, not only with me, just in general, what camera settings are the best, or what camera settings have you used for this photo? And I'm like, my experience. That is the only setting that will give you, I would say, 100% guarantee and this reassurance in what you're doing and how it's gonna show up, how it's gonna come out. With my influencers, we usually use their phones, so that means that all the examples of photos and videos, for example, in my Instagram, you see, it's a mix. It's an iPhone 14 Pro, it's an iPhone 15 Pro Max, it's the 16th one. We use different phones. And usually I use their phones, and only sometimes I use mine, which is iPhone 14 Pro. This is the one I'm gonna be using in this video. Okay, so let's go. I have it all written down and I have it on 2 screens here. We will go to settings, camera. We are skipping everything that is about the videos. We're going straight into formats. About formats. As far as I know and I have checked, it's better to use most compatible. I use most compatible because as far as I know, if you use high efficiency, it will compress the photo and make the quality worse than it actually is. That's why I've watched different videos, you know, other people's camera settings. I just chose for myself most compatible, not high efficiency. If you have any objections, please write them down in the comments. Scrolling down, we have ProRaw and resolution control. I have it on. I opened Pro Default, and here I have chosen ProRaw Max up to 48. This is how we get the best quality photos, and you can zoom in, you can crop it. It's not gonna be 100%, you know, ideal as if you're using some kind of most expensive Nikon, but it will definitely be good. And you just won't see the blur when zooming in. Going back to the camera, preserve settings. Here you can choose which setting will be there when you open your camera again. So for example, you just took some photos and then you close your camera, you open it again in 5 minutes. You will have the video sitting there. You will have the exposure you were filming with previously. Everything you've used basically in the camera will still be there. I have everything on, by the way. I have everything on, even live photo, because I don't want it to be on all the time when I open the camera. If I want to turn it on, I will turn it on. I think with this one, it's really, you need to play around with them. I do know that my exposure, for example, I like it in most of the cases when it's minus 0.3, sometimes 0.7, but I can always, you know, choose 0.7 if I need it to be there, if it's too bright. Usually I like minus 0.3, that's why I like that setting to be preserved. When I open the camera again, I want it to be there. I don't want to change anything manually. To spend as less time as possible adjusting something when I open the camera. Next one, volume up for burst. Right after preserve settings, we have use volume up for burst. And I have it on. I like to use them also when I'm tired of using my thumb taking pictures. So I just do this, you know, and it's kind of faster. I don't know, it feels cooler. Sometimes I do like a little BTS when girls dance, for example, in the streets, and I want to film just the crowd and them dancing. So I have my phone just in my hand right down here. I don't need to look at the screen and try to tap, to press the button to start recording. I know that I can press volume button and then it will record a video or take a photo. Here we have next one, scan QR codes. I have it on for myself. I do need to scan sometimes QR codes. But in general, I just want to say that you have to be a little bit careful when you're filming outside near cafes or stores. Usually they do put some kind of QR code, even if it's a very small one. They just put it somewhere outside and then you're taking pictures in front of that place. Your camera will focus on the QR code. So the pictures, they might be blurry, the person is going to be blurry, the focus is already somewhere there. I would have it off if I am outside and I'm filming. But in general, I have it on because I think I'm such a professional, I just change my focus back to the person. I would say for beginners, definitely to have it off, not to distract you, and just in general, if you don't like any distractions. If there is many people, it's crowded, they're walking, they're looking at you, you're just clicking, you took a few pictures and you're gone. Same with show detective text. I have it on, but here I never noticed any problem, so maybe I should turn it off, I don't know. I've never used it as well. And the next is grid and level. Have it on, especially for beginners, try to use it. Because I was just preparing and I saw this video and this girl was saying, oh, no one is gonna ever take a bad picture of you again because you will have grid and level on. They will, girl, they will. They will take the worst one with the grid and level on, with me standing right beside them and telling them what to do, they will. That is why camera settings is not enough. It's not gonna be enough because those people, they don't notice grid and level. Did you know that? Like, have you ever noticed that when you take a picture, you as if don't see those lines on the screen? You look through them and your brain loses them. There's nothing for them on the screen. They have no idea why they're there. Like, what do you want to do with that? Like, why do you have that hashtag sign on your screen? And that yellow line, it just goes white, yellow, white, yellow. This is not a guarantee. Grid and level is not a guarantee that your picture is going to come out good. That is why settings alone is not enough. It's not enough. You will definitely need to explain to those people what grid and level is and make sure they pay attention to it. And if you're taking that picture, you would need to pay attention to grid and level as well. They are very basic things and they will help you, it doesn't matter whether you're a beginner or you've already been doing this for some time. It's just visually helpful to align subjects and elements along the lines or the intersection, which leads to just better pictures. They're more visually appealing because our brain likes straight line. And just to start with, this is just the beginning. And the level, it just helps you to align photos by indicating the camera's horizontal and vertical orientation. And in simple words, your photos not gonna look like you took them drunk. Like you were hammered and you just were given a phone and you're trying to keep it cool. Mirror front camera. Here as well, I have this one on, so my selfies don't scare me. View outside of the frame. I have it off. This is basically very useless. I think it's very useless. I don't think it's needed. If you're experienced and you do this every day, I don't think you need it. If you're, let's call it beginner or like medium level, because I can take a photo, literally can wake me up at night and I can take it with eyes closed. I wouldn't even need to get out of the bed to do this, but that's for me. For I think those who only begin doing that or mid-level people, you might use it. View outside of the frame, for those who didn't know, it's for those long pictures. So in iPhones now you can choose whether to take more square picture or it's going to be the size of a kind of a reel cover or a story, like a long one. That's called 16:9 and the square one is 4:3. I don't use 16:9 because I think it reduces quality. very much. I only use 4:3, and considering view outside of the frame, as far as I know, works for 16:9 only. You can take a picture with it, and when you open it, you can see the sides of the picture, which basically makes it 4:3, but you can only see this part. It doesn't make sense to me. I would rather have 4:3 taken as I need it and then crop, rather than bother with changing to 16:9, taking that long photo. It's worse quality. Then I'd have to choose this view outside of the frame. I would have to choose which side I want to use. So much hustle. I hope that was clear about view outside of the frame. That's my opinion on it. Photographic styles. Okay, here I usually don't use any styles when taking pictures. I just use the basic one. But I had some cases where my client came to me and she had this thing already on, and I was like, okay, this is not a new phone, but it looks so cool. It looks so juicy and bright. All the colors look very good. It's clear. And then I realized she had one of them on, one of them, which one? She had the vibrant style on. And I thought, But then we actually decided to just leave it. We've agreed with most of the content creators I work with that it's just easier for them to adjust everything in post-editing, to add any brightness they need, to add any contrast they need, just easier to do afterwards. I personally actually like it when it's straight away, when I'll spend less time doing something after, when I'm doing everything here, now, not wasting time. But I do believe it's possible though. I do believe it's possible, especially using these styles. If you need something cooler, you can see the color, and that is less hassle afterwards. I guess everybody will have to choose for themselves. I hope I explain clear, because I might, talk to myself as someone who does it every day. But for somebody who is new, that all of that might be, and who hasn't experienced the camera, hasn't taken pictures themselves, it might be a bit magic world with unicorns. Next one is prioritize faster shooting. I have this one off, and I have read that it decreases the quality of the image because iPhone tries to make it faster, rather than with good quality. So I decided to turn it off. Lens correction off. Don't know much about it, and I don't think I need it. That's probably one of the settings that I don't really know much about. I feel like on the iPhone, if this setting wasn't a proper camera, it would probably change something. But on the iPhone, sometimes it feels overwhelming because they have so many things, but you press on and off, you can turn it on, you can turn it off. Nothing changes for everyday pictures because it's not like you're shooting a Vogue cover or a campaign for a brand every day. And here, last one, we have macro control. I have it on because I like it. I like this thing. It's the little flower that shows up in your left bottom corner of your camera. When you open the camera and you look at something, you try and take a picture and you're very close to the object. I like it. I don't know about you. I like it. I heard people hating it, I think they just don't take the pictures that I take, they haven't played with it and took the photos that I have. Okay, we finished with settings, and now we're gonna go to the camera app. And here, first of all, I wanna talk about live photo because this is probably the first thing that you can see in your top right corner. I have it off usually, unless I want it on. I know some people like to have it off because afterwards you can go to open the photo which you've taken, and you can choose the moment. So live photo is basically like a little video, tiny video, and you can choose a specific moment you can save as the cover of this video, which is basically the photo. If I, for example, took a photo of you with your eyes closed, face like that, it was taken with the live photo on, you can open the picture and choose the moment before that when your eyes were open, and you save the photo. I think that's great to have as an option. I do think it reduces quality when you do that. And also I don't like, I think it zooms. Was it burst or was it live? When you change the moment, it kind of like zooms that image. and it's like you lose a bit of the frame. I don't like that. Anyway, you definitely lose in quality, so I don't use live unless I want to use live. But also a cool thing with live as well, you can turn them into just a video. If you have your picture open, you press 3 dots in your top right corner and you can choose save as video. It's gonna turn your live photo into a video. Another favorite trick of mine is exposure, and I've already mentioned that. Exposure is the plus minus thing in the bottom menu, and swiping up, tapping on that plus and minus circle, you will see that you can choose minus 0.3, minus 0.7 exposure. I've already mentioned that I like to open my camera and have the exposure already on minus 0.3. That helps with the colors, it clears the image out. Well, you need to wipe the camera as well. And you will see how it's much clearer, better, and vibrant than if you have it on 0.0. If it's too bright and sunny and I want that very contrasty, but not bright, like clear contrast, you know, when there's like clear, deep colors, juicy, I would go to minus 0.7. And sometimes, because like a few days ago, it was very, very bright. So you would have to do even minus 0.1 or 1.3. Yeah, I don't know why I'm talking like that. I like to deal with light and color. It's kind of a, I don't know, sickness. Frame-wise, I use 4.3, 4 to 3, I've already mentioned that. And I don't use 16 to 9, as I said. I don't like it, I think it's useless. As you can see in the bottom menu, I only play with exposure, I don't usually touch anything else. Let's talk about zooms. This is also kind of one of my secrets. I love zooms. And especially I love 5x on the new phones, but I do have an older phone. So I only have 0.5, 1, 2, 3. There is so many things you can do with that. With 1, we usually take general like full length, a bit further, with the object a little bit smaller and a bit of a background. The rest of the photos we do with 2, 3, well, I do. We love 2x. I love 2x zoom for videos as well. If you haven't tried it, try it. Just filming full length, you would have to go further from the person you're filming, but it would be so much more cinematic. So I like that one. I like pictures with 3x, very close details, not very close details, like further details, and full length also, especially in movements. For example, the step shot, when the person is walking and you taking that, just a picture of the person walking. You can basically use any of them for any type of the photo. You just will have to decide for yourself which one you like better. With each of my clients, we have different agreements and they have different preferences. Let me know in the comments if you don't agree with any of my settings or you have anything on that I have off. Let's see who is using what, you know, because we can talk about the right setting, but the right setting are the ones that are right for you. Don't forget to follow me here on YouTube and on Instagram so we can just learn a bit more about content creation together. I'll see you in the next video, part 2, video settings.